Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast. I have today got a game between Grubby and Nerchio. It is from the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. It was played today, which is the 6th of March, so I hope you do enjoy this game. We do have Grubby playing as the blue Protoss player in the bottom left, and we have got Nerchio as the red Zerg player in the top right position. The map is Antigua Shipyard. And as you will see, it is the tournament version of the map, so the supply depot is walling off the bottom of the ramp to prevent that 3 pylon block. So Nerchio is pretty safe from that. Now, obviously, as I did say, this is the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship, so these two players are competing for $35,000 is first place in the StarCraft 2 tournament. Now, if you do want to check that out, by all means, go to their site. They're on Twitter. I think they're posting on the hashtag on Twitter as IEM. So obviously follow me on Twitter and basically give me a post saying what you thought of this game, and obviously hashtag IEM in there as well, because obviously every time someone does post about the Intel Extreme Masters Championship on Twitter, it gets it higher up on trending, and obviously if trending does make esports popular, then that would be brilliant for everyone involved. Now, we will see that Nerchio has gone for the 14 pool, and that is the safe thing to do. You don't want to be going for the hatch first in ZVP, because this probe can just cannon your natural, and well, then you have a bad day. You never want to see a cannon outside your house. It's just not a good thing, and Grubby could have done that because he has got this Forge Fast Expand build going on. Now, I mean, for anyone who's subscribed to me already or has heard some of my videos previously, hopefully the sound quality is a bit better. I invested in a brand new microphone, and hopefully it should be a bit clearer. So, I mean, let me know your thoughts on that. Now, we will see a pylon block going down here by Grubby, and this is more frustrating. Now, what Nerchio could do is actually just go straight for his third, but choosing instead just to work his way down, and this probe is going to go and attack the drone. That's just nasty, but I mean, it looks like this is just going to go down, and I mean, Grubby is going to get the kill, and first blood is going to go to Grubby. Grubby does kill the drone, that poor helpless drone. 1-1 because I do believe Grubby lost one earlier on, so all pretty close. Meanwhile, that probe will get taken down, so there goes Nerchio with the 2-1. Now, obviously getting these Zerglings out early means he can very quickly and easily deal with the pylon, and also come and counter-attack. Now, this one cannon won't be able to deal with all of this area on the map. Obviously, Zerglings could skirt their way through down here and all the way into the main base of Grubby, which would be a nightmare for him. So by getting those 6 lings, which do obviously 2 lings do cost 50 minerals, so 6 obviously cost 150. 150 minerals is going to force another pylon already, probably even another cannon, but it could actually be that these Zerglings will get there before that pylon finishes and the cannon can start. But it's great pylon placement because it will force the Zerglings to come through here, and that may just be in range of the cannon. It'll be interesting to see. The pylon will finish, and Grubby straight away now going for a second cannon, but it's going to lose 100 minerals straight away. So that was a good investment by Nerchio in getting those Zerglings, and Grubby just having to chuck down more pylons, more cannons, and this is just not a good position. I mean, if that doesn't get cancelled, which it was cancelled, but that's still 25. So currently these Zerglings have just left Nerchio at 25 minerals down, but obviously lost mining time for having to control these probes. I mean, this was a very good investment by Nerchio. Nerchio meanwhile getting his third base at the same time. Grubby trying to take advantage of that whole command, and did actually manage to pick one up. One will go down, and a second one as well, so only 4 Zerglings make it into Grubby's base. And will they be able to do any damage? I mean, some good micro. One Zergling does go down straight away. No probes killed as of yet. One other Zergling getting quite low on HP. One probe does go down for Nerchio now, but a Zealot is out as well, so I don't actually think there'll be much more which can happen here. So, I mean, just 2 Zerglings, that Zealot will be able to deal with them, or the probes will on their own. Obviously, cannons are down here, but I mean, what you have to remember is by getting these 6 drones, they've paid for themselves already just by forcing this cannon to come out, which is 150 minerals, and obviously that pylon slightly earlier than maybe Grubby wanted to. Now, obviously the Zerglings are going to try and stay alive as long as possible. They are going to try and pick up a few probes, but will eventually die. So that was good play by Nerchio, just made Grubby use up some of his actions per minute in order to deal with them. Now I'm just kind of looking around here, seeing if Nerchio is doing anything else. He's got 2 gases up, but not using them for anything as of yet. Just getting his third base saturated as well, so This is good play. Meanwhile, Grubby getting his cybernetics core down. Obviously, the disadvantage of going for a forge fast expand is you have very late tech, and that's really evident here. Although Grubby now actually getting 2 more assimilators down, so obviously getting those 4 gas mean that, I mean, it's very likely we'll see some super fast tech. And there's actually a Zergling coming in now. If that Zergling does scout those 3rd and 4th gas, it will be huge. Obviously, there's an Overlord in the main base which has scouted those 2 gas. So there we go. Grubby will now know that he has been scouted. Nerchio knows exactly what's going on. There are 4 gases, and there goes the double Stargate play. Now, in response to that, I mean, Nerchio has got that Roach 1 and Evolution Chamber. Now, actually, that's a fairly standard timing game. When you get your Roach 1, get an Evolution Chamber. That is great Zerg play against Protoss. Purely because if they do go Stargates, you can chuck down those Spore Crawlers. Not to mention the fact that if you've got the Evolution Chamber there already, then obviously you can start on your upgrades, and upgrades win games. Without a doubt they do. Now, Grubby is going to follow this up with 2 more gateways, so that will take him up to 3. Kind of boosting out that Warp Gate tech. And it'll be interesting to see, he is kind of boosting out a Phoenix now, so it's going to be a Phoenix play. Phoenix are very strong because they can pick off Overlords, they can also lift Queens and do damage, so Spore Crawlers will be essential here. Amazingly, speed only about a quarter of the way done for Nerchio at just before the 9-minute mark, so I mean, very late speed, but he doesn't need it because there's no ground army for him to deal with. And Grubby looking like he's just going to go and kill this Overlord. Now, obviously, every Overlord you kill, 1 or 2 doesn't make a huge difference, it's just irritating. But if you start taking out a lot, then suddenly you can do quite significant damage to the Zerg player. So, if you are a Protoss player, always try and pick off any Overlords you can. A second one going down here as well. I mean, that's already 200 minerals down for Nerchio, not to mention he has to rebuild them using lava as well. Now, this pylon will get scouted, but it doesn't actually look like Nerchio's got anything he can do to deal with that. But obviously, these rocks are still down, so it's not too much of a threat. Meanwhile, another Overlord is going to go down, and I mean, Nerchio's just having to rebuild them just as quickly as they die. And I mean, that means that he is effectively supply blocking himself. And it's not a good position to be in. Great Phoenix Micro here. I mean, Grubby just moving these Phoenix away so they don't take any damage apart from to shields, which obviously recovers very quickly. 1 gets into the orange, but not massive problems. This Zergling will die fairly quickly, but I mean, just a couple of Zealots are out, and now some roaches being lifted. Nerchio just going for the, well, you've invested in Phoenix, I'm just going to kill you approach, and that's a good approach. I mean, in response to this, Grubby has got 2 robotic facilities, having to get 2 more cannons. That's straight away 300 minerals investment, and these roaches are going to hit pretty damn quickly. I mean, these robotic facilities will have to get immortals out ASAP, and Grubby pulling back his units. Those roaches are going to come in. I mean, if the roaches had just gone for the main base now, they would have done huge damage. The Phoenix are attempting to lift up, and now here comes a whole stream of Zerglings as well. Some Zealots outside of the force field wall off. Great force field, just preventing anything moving forward. Trying to do as much damage as possible. Those Phoenix lifting up more roaches, and I mean, I'm surprised Grubby isn't chrono boosting out of these immortals. He has got the energy. There we go. There's the chrono boost. And the roaches focus firing down the robotic facility. If they take them down before the immortals finish, then that'd be absolutely huge. But the Phoenix is just slowly dismantling this army, 1 roach at a time, making it manageable. And amazingly, Grubby is keeping those sentries up for ages. And I mean, those immortals are going to pop now, and this is the end of this push. Those immortals will completely destroy the roaches. Meanwhile, though, behind this, the infestation pit and Spire. The infestation pit is done, and the Spire half done for Nerchio. He's got his 3rd base up. He's got good saturation. I mean, oh, his saturation in his main isn't too great. For those of you who don't know, if you select all the drones from the mineral line, you should see 2 rows, and that is perfect saturation at minerals. So, just a useful little fact. Meanwhile, Nerchio is taking his 4th base and also his 5th base as well. Obviously, there's not even a 3rd base for Grubby at the moment, and Nerchio just trying to do a bit more damage, but I mean, there's just too many immortals there, there's too many everything there, so that won't go ahead. Meanwhile, Grubby is moving out. He's got a lot of minerals, so he is going to have to expand ASAP in order to deal with this, and that is exactly what he is going to do. But he will still be 2 bases behind, and that's never good. But just picking off so many overlords, 1 Phoenix being somewhat sacrificed to scout up. Pathogen Glands is on the way, and +1 Carapace is about to finish up for Nerchio. Well, actually, it's about halfway done. He's also getting out a Hydroden and also the Baning Nest. Now, Hydras are fantastic if there isn't any Colossus on the field. Now, I mean, trying to just counterattack here, but too many Stalkers. Having said that, though, these two Immortals are almost certainly going to go down, and that'll be a huge loss for Grubby at this stage. Obviously, Immortals are very expensive units, but they are awful against Zerglings, so losing those two Immortals is quite a big loss. Having said that, if we go to the unit counting station, there's no roaches out for Nerchio at all. Now, neither is there an observer for Grubby. Grubby could really use that observer right now to know what's going on, but obviously there are spore coolers around which would prevent it, but at least they get an idea that there are no roaches. So really these Immortals are only effective against the Infestors, but still it's just so much supply taken up by Immortals. There are 2 more on the way, there's already 4, so that'll be 6 Immortals, and that's a lot of supply investment for Grubby for a unit which can't really deal with the army. Now this 5th base has been scouted by Grubby, so those Phoenix are doing a great job here, and they are actually going to come and scout the army, but they are, if they get fungal, that could be a big loss. A fungal growth is going to go off, but amazingly only 2 were caught in that, so it will still go down, but it could have been better somewhat. I mean, this base is now looking to be in a lot of trouble. There's a lot of Zealots coming in. 6 Zealots are on the way. There's absolutely nothing in the way of defense. Hive is about to finish up for Nerchio, but this base is going to go down. I mean, these Zerglings are coming in. Will Grubby just focus via the hatchery? I mean, only time will tell, but these Zerglings are running and they are doing a lot of damage. It's going to be quite close, but that hatchery is going to go, and yes, it will. So that hatchery is going to go down, and straight away rebuild by Nerchio, and obviously he does have this 4th base as well, so it's not a huge loss, but it just brings only a 1 base difference, which is good for Grubby. He's doing great expansion management. Meanwhile, a Great Spire is on its way for Nerchio now. He's got quite a few Corruptors out, and he's starting to bank up some minerals, but not enough gas at the moment, so would be good to see Nerchio grabbing some more gas ASAP. Hasn't taken the gas here, so is actually taking his 6th base now as well, so 6 base to 3 is obviously fantastic, and Grubby not actually running too low on his minerals. He's got a bit left in his main, so should be okay for a while. Meanwhile, these Phoenix will see that base is back up building, and it'll be interesting to see if they come and scout up here, but either way, we have actually got War Prism coming out for Grubby as well, so that could be great. Some drop play would be extremely effective, because while spreading out your bases is very good for defending a ground base push, defending drops is awful for, because your army literally has to be in 2 places at once. So that's not a good position, and also you don't want to be spreading out your army, because if the Protoss comes at you with a death ball, you're going to die. Meanwhile, we have got a Templar Archives out as well down here. That is getting Storm. Charge is also on its way for the Zealots, and I mean, the one problem that Grubby has is he's got 7 Immortals. That is a lot of supply. Meanwhile, a lot of drones are going to get picked off, and a huge fungal growth there. That is going to pick off all of those Phoenix, and those Phoenix are all going to go down. Grubby just refreshing that Immortal, those Phoenix, trying to do whatever he can, but nothing he can do. He's trying to just snipe off an Infestor or 2, but he won't be able to. So Nerchio, that has literally just completely shut down his harassment capability, but obviously this War Prism is here with 2 Immortals, which could very, very quickly take down this base. But obviously there's another base. I mean, Nerchio has literally just taken all of the bases that he realistically can. I mean, he could try and push down here, and that's what Grubby's trying to do. He's trying to take this hidden, but I mean, it will get scouted eventually, and it's not in a good position to defend. And meanwhile, I mean, there's obviously the War Prism up here, so there's no chance of it coming down here. Now, this War Prism is getting ready to warp in, so we might see some Zealots, but meanwhile, we've got a big push coming in here from Nerchio. He's nearing max. 2-2 is on the way. +2 melee attack and +1 flying carapace. Banelings are in there, Zerglings are in there, Infestors, so many Broodlords. Only a handful of Stalkers. There are some storms, some big storms going off. Obviously, Storm's very, very good against Zerglings, but not that great against the rest. No feedback either on the Infestors yet. Nerchio doing a great job of keeping them back, and so many Immortals, but nothing for the Immortals to hit at all. And that's a big problem. A huge storm goes off, takes out all of the Banelings, but some great fungal growths there by Nerchio, just picking off pretty much everything and anything he can. And I mean, just closing that down to try and get a better look at what is happening here. I mean, those Broodlords are just going in. Meanwhile, there is a drop coming down here. Those Immortals are going to take out that base. It's going to warp in some units here as well, but there's just so many infested Terrans, so many Broodlings. There's nothing Grubby can do here, I don't think. He is doing some great force fields, but there's just too many infested Terrans in the base. Meanwhile, the Broodlords are just laying siege to this remaining army of Grubby. If we open up the tab again, we will see that Grubby's 100 food supply. There are 2 roadways on the way out, but there's just so many infested terrans and a fungal growth as well. This is just going to get cleaned up, and Grubby is pretty much out of this game now. There is nothing I can see him doing. He's done some great drop play. He has taken out the base in the top and is trying to harass that centre base as well, but he just can't deal with this army. So, I mean, it's just whenever Grubby decides to knock out, now I don't think there's anything he can do to get this back. He's building a lot of Nexus, but instead just decides to GG. And that was a very, very close game at some points, but Nerchio just had so many expansions out to deal with it that there was just nothing Grubby could do. Nerchio just had essentially an infinite income and could just build whatever the hell he wanted to, and just build a load of broodlords. The other key mistake I think Grubby made was somewhat blindly making a lot of immortals, and there was just no roaches. Now, if there's no roaches, immortals will do nothing. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. That was a game from the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships, and if you did enjoy it, hashtag IEM is the Intel Extreme Masters hashtag. Follow me on Twitter, let me know what you thought of the games, and subscribe to my YouTube as well if you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching.